You know, it's so easy to spot the red flags in other people. But what happens when we turn that lens around and point it at ourselves? Today, we're going to dig into a tough but really important question. Could we be the difficult one in our own relationships? And look, this isn't about blame. It's about getting the self-awareness we need to build something way better.
Come on, we've all done it, right? When a relationship hits a rough patch, it's almost a reflex to start listing out all the other person's faults. It kind of helps us make sense of all the friction. Let's look at a few you'll probably recognize.
It usually starts with this one, that feeling of being totally unheard, that sense that your words are just disappearing into thin air.
And then there's that heavy weight of blame. You know the feeling, where no matter what goes down, you're somehow the one left holding the bag.
And of course, this one, feeling trapped, that sense that you can't move or breathe without permission. So are you seeing the pattern here? Every single one of these points outward. It's all about them. But this is where we're going to flip the script. The whole point of this explainer is to shift our focus from what's going on with them to what we might be bringing to the table ourselves.
Just look what happens when we change one little word. They never listen becomes I don't listen. It's always their fault turns into I make it their fault. Whoa. It's a little jarring, but it's an incredibly powerful way to see things differently.
And that brings us right to the heart of it all. It's a brave question to ask for sure. It takes real courage to even consider it. But let me be super clear. This is not about slapping a toxic label on yourself. It's about getting the self-awareness you need to have healthier, happier relationships. So with that in mind, let's reframe these 7 signs. I want you to think of them not as some checklist for being a bad person, but more like 7 mirrors, 7 chances to reflect that can guide us toward being more self-aware and, actually growing. Okay, our first reflection, the blame game. When something goes wrong, what's your gut reaction? Is it to figure out who else is responsible? I mean, it's a super common defense mechanism, but it totally shuts down any chance for us to learn and grow.
Oh, this is a classic, isn't it? It's the perfect way to link your action directly to theirs and, poof, your own responsibility just vanishes. The real question isn't if you've ever said it, it's whether this has become your go-to move in an argument.
All right, let's move to our second reflection, constant criticism. Now, this one can be really sneaky because it often pretends to be something else. We tell ourselves we're just being honest or trying to help. But what's really happening is we're slowly chipping away at their confidence. So what does this actually look like? Well, are you giving feedback on their outfit when they never asked? Are your jokes landing a little too close to something you know they're sensitive about? These things might seem small, but over time they create a really negative atmosphere.
Reflection number 3 is all about being a scorekeeper. You see, in a healthy relationship, you sort things out and you move on. But scorekeeping is the exact opposite. It turns your relationship into a game, where past mistakes are basically ammo you save for later.
And there it is, the perfect example. Instead of actually dealing with what's happening right now, you reach back into the archives for a past mistake. This isn't about solving a problem, it's about winning the fight by making their feelings invalid.
Next up, the silent treatment. Now, it's really important to know the difference here. Needing some space to cool off, that's healthy. The silent treatment, though, that's an active choice. It's using silence as a weapon to make the other person feel guilty and anxious, basically forcing them to come crawling back.
Yeah, when you see it laid out like this, the real intention becomes pretty clear, right? It's a deliberate power move designed to control the situation, and it leaves the other person feeling completely abandoned.
Now for reflection number 5, controlling behavior. This usually comes from a place of deep insecurity and a real lack of trust, but it shows up as a total violation of your partner's privacy and their freedom. You're basically treating them like someone you have to manage, not a partner you trust.
This quote just cuts right to the chase. That's not a casual question, is it? It's a demand. It says, I don't trust you, so I have the right to invade your privacy to prove it. It's just a huge, flashing sign of disrespect.
6th on our list, we've got emotional outbursts. This is all about when our reactions are constantly dialed up to 11, no matter how small the issue is. It creates this climate of fear, where your partner feels like they have to tiptoe around you just to avoid setting you off.
And that last point is everything. Walking on eggshells. If the people in your life feel like they constantly have to manage your emotions just to feel safe, that is a massive indicator that your reactions might be the real problem.
And our final point of reflection, ignoring boundaries. Think about it. A boundary is just someone telling you what's okay and what's not okay for them. When you constantly push past those limits, no matter how small they seem, you're basically saying, your feelings don't matter as much as what I want.
Okay, so we've looked in the mirror at 7 pretty challenging behaviors. The big question is, now what? Because the most important part of all of this is moving past just seeing a problem and actually doing something about it.
And this right here is the most important thing I want you to take away. Toxic is a label, and labels feel permanent, they feel final. But we haven't been talking about who you are, we've been talking about what you do. We've been talking about behaviors, and behaviors can absolutely be changed. That's where all the power is.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. Don't feel like you have to fix everything all at once. Just think back on those 7 reflections. Did one of them really stand out to you? What's one small, manageable step you could take to start changing that one single pattern, starting today? Because that's where the real growth begins. Thanks for coming along on this little journey of self-reflection with me.